Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome to day 8 of the Redstone Advent Calendar. In this one we're going to be taking a look at a very old redstone contraption of mine that never saw the light of YouTube simply because I thought it was far too complicated for what it actually did. Now this is a trading booth. It allows the players to throw items into the water stream so that both players can see them, and then it allows the players to decide whether they'd like to accept the trade or reject the trade. Of course, if they accept the trade, then the items will change hands. If they reject the trade, then the items make their way back to the original people. So let's create a completely fake scenario. So we've got Jim and James. Jim says, I will trade 64 diamond blocks for 64 iron blocks. I don't know why he's decided to be so lenient with this, but he's decided that it's totally worth it. Now, as you can see, James can see all of the diamond blocks there, and if we go over to Jim's side, he can see all of the iron blocks there, and he goes, you know what? This is probably a fair trade. So he flicks this lever right here, and then also James on this side flicks this lever, and as you can see, both blocks drop down. All of the iron blocks make their way over to that side so that Jim can pick them up and James can pick up his diamond block. We're going to be sticking with Jim and James once again simply because I quite like those two names. So Jim says, I will trade you 64 diamond blocks, give me your best price. Now James on the other hand is a little bit on the poor side, so he goes, I'll give you 64 dirt blocks. Now of course James thinks this is the best deal in all of mankind. I'm going to be getting 64 diamond blocks for 64 dirt, so he of course accepts this offer. But Jim on the other hand is thinking, this probably isn't the best deal. I'm giving away 64 diamond blocks for dirt. No, I don't really fancy that one. So as you can see, the blocks make their way out of the water streams and into these hoppers here so both players can pick them up. Now from a redstone perspective, all of this really is quite simple. We just have two different logic gates going on here. We have got an AND gate going down the middle, then we have got the OR gates going around the outside. Now the AND gate is for the accept circuit because of course for an AND gate to work, both inputs have to be on for us to get an output. So player 1 has to accept and player 2 has to accept, and then all of this redstone will switch off and both of these pistons will retract, meaning that both sets of items will travel across to the other side. Now on the other hand, with the reject circuit, of course both players don't have to reject for the trade to be turned off, because if one of the players is unhappy with the trade, then that means that 50% of the people involved in the trade don't want the trade, so the whole thing has to be switched off. So when one of the players hits the buttons, then that means that all of the redstone will turn off, meaning that we get an output through both sets of pistons. Both of those pistons will retract, and both sets of items will travel off to one side into the hoppers, so that each player can pick up their own items. Now I know that was a bit of a mess of an explanation, I do apologise for that. I'm sure that some of you managed to follow along, but if you didn't, then of course there is a world download down in the description for anyone that wants to check that one out. Take a closer look at the circuitry and try and understand it for yourselves. Now before we go, I just want to mention the reasoning behind not uploading this one originally, because I'm sure some of you are interested. So number one is of course the fact that it's a little bit more complicated than I would have liked it to be, but number two, and this is the most important thing, is because of entity stacking, it's impossible to tell how many items the other player has put forth. You don't know if they've put forth 10 stacks or just one stack, which really does ruin the entire thing, which is a bit of a shame because, to be honest with you, I really like this idea and I think it could have worked really quite nicely. So maybe with single items, this works absolutely fine, but as soon as you start dealing with multiples, it becomes really quite challenging. Now, before we go, I just want to say, of course, I am doing these Redstone Advent Calendar videos in collaboration with Exumavoid. So if you do want to check out Exumavoid's Advent Calendar video for today, then there will be a link for that one down in the description and also on the screen. But unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.